Good morning. It has been a while. Been quite busy with life, with work, everything. So, yeah, not had much time to make a video, but we have some news. So today, it is the 4th of December, and as of yesterday to take effect today, food's gone up. So, just for a bit of context, we are currently 6 weeks and 4 days post the last show. Been in a health phase, still in a health phase. Food was, I think I mentioned last time, 2,990 or something like that, and then on a training, 2,700 on a rest. So it's nothing major, just get me out of that deep deficit and focus on health. And I felt good. Hunger and stuff was there for the first few weeks. Seems to be gradually going away now, which I'm pretty happy about, which is positive. In terms of me, so scale weight today was 76 bang on. Trend wise, over the last couple of weeks, it's been a bit of a weird one. So I came out of the show, post show, first week ended up at 73.54 average from 71.8, which was expected. Some enjoyment and kind of filled up straight away. Then averaged 74.69, 76.3, 76.53, 77 last week. So I'm averaging about 0.5, 0.3 up per week, which is pretty much bang on where we want to be. Last week I was ill, so there was inflammation. Yeah, just one of them, just for a couple of days. Didn't feel right for about 2 weeks or something, just when you can just feel it coming on. But it hit me last week, and I had a couple of days where I was really ill. So my weights was quite high. I was hitting like the 77s, 77.7 one day. But this week, back to normal. Weight started trending down, and yeah, this morning, yesterday I was 75.8, now today I'm 76. So regulating off at about 76.5 or so. Anyway, enough of that. So weight's trending nicely. Training is really good, and now it's just a case of just keep cracking on. I had my bloods supposed to have my bloods last week. Can't went into the garage, still not got it back, which is always fantastic, but I'm going to rebook them in. The foods is to take effect as of today, and it is a rest day, so I will walk you through that. And the plan is get this week done, so it's Thursday, and then get my bloods booked in for next week, get the results, and then it's all systems go. So in terms of my food currently, it's a rest day today, but training day, 3,420 calories, 215.8 grams of protein, 474.7 grams of carbs, 61.1 grams of fat. And then rest day, which I'm going to do a rest day eating video today, is 3,188 calories, 210.1 grams of protein, 407.7 grams of carbs, 67.7 grams of fat. One thing I have learned over the last week or so as I'm adjusting to my food is that I'm still relatively in a prep mindset of eating at the same time, which was about 10, half 10. With me being so busy with the coaching and training later, just day-to-day life, that is well too late. I've still been trying to hang on to that eat later, so you've got a shorter window to eat within. But I'm finding that once time I finish training, dealt with clients and stuff, especially midday, I'm having a post-workout snack. It's on a training day. literally, as I'm eating that, I've got my meal 2, salmon, for example, in the air fryer. Literally finishing that and then eating that, and then an hour and a half later, I'm eating my meal 3, and then pretty much straight after that, I'm having what I'd have as my like nighttime snack. So it has been sitting a little bit heavier. I don't need to do it now. Just getting out of that scarcity of being hungry, which I'm starting to adapt to now. So this morning, was up at 6 o'clock. I've been having a bit of a lie-in last week or so, since I've been ill. So I'm getting back into routine now. But yeah, my body needed it. I was absolutely fucking so tired. So yeah, woke up at 6 this morning. Routine hasn't changed, it's just been at different times. So mobility, stretching, vacuums, morning coffee, gratitude, plan the day. Do that every single day. They say a man without a plan is a man with no direction. So for me, since I've started doing that and planning the day, just gives you clarity on exactly what the day wants to look like. And there's nothing better than ticking off your to-do list for me. Gives you a sense of accomplishment. Even if the world fell apart, I've done the things that were important that day. And it's good for me. So yeah, it's now 8:10, and I am about to officially start the day. Had the coffee, weighed in. So, morning stack, this is the same every single day. So once I've been to the toilet and done all that business, I have 10 grams of creatine, 10 grams of glutamine. After my first meal, I have a serving of D3 plus K2, omega-3, liver support, and my probiotics. And then with my last meal, about an hour and a half before I go to bed, I have magnesium biglycinate and KSM 66 ashwagandha, stress and hormone support, and sleep aid. These really do work, by the way. I've noticed a massive difference. 1.5 litres of water, straight down the hatch, with a serving of this Perform Hydrate. Water doesn't hydrate you enough. You need electrolytes of some sort. Otherwise, especially if you're training hard and stuff, you will not be hydrating yourself correctly. So that is that for the morning. I will show you in a minute meal 1. BRB. Meal 1. About to go doon. So we have, this meal hasn't changed and it doesn't look that good from here, but I promise you it's the best meal of my day. So we have 80 grams of oats, 10 grams of dark chocolate, 10 grams of Biscoff crunchy spread, which has been a game changer for me, by the way, 100 grams of banana, 50 grams of Chocotella Perform Whey Protein, 2 grams of pink salt, and a dash of cinnamon. Breakfast will not change for me. I say that though. I say that. So I'll get into it a little bit later on, but I now have my nighttime snack now consists of another bowl of oats. So I do have various options. So I have two options for my breakfast, 2 options for my dinner, meal 2, and 3 options for meal 3. I've been using the same ones because I enjoy them, but maybe I can push the boat out and, change my breakfast because I do have that snack later. I'll see. But there's some things that I'm still in that prep mindset with. For example, eating the same foods because I know I enjoy them, but I need to get out of that. So I'm going to get this one down, get some steps in, and then we'll meet up for meal 1.5, should we call it. Meal 1.5. I'm getting used to adjusting these meals because, I'm used to having 3 in a snack, and now obviously it's increased in terms of volume. But with it being a rest day, this would be technically, so what I have now is a slightly more volume, which would be technically post-workout. Obviously, I'm not training today, but I've got my steps in that I needed to get in. So there are 8,000 currently. And the cardio has been pulled. Shut up. I did have 10 minutes of the bike, but 8,000 steps has been suffice. I'm just keeping it nice and brisk, actually getting a bit of a sweat on, which a lot of people don't do. So it's a bit more, like I say, get the heart rate raised and protect that cardiovascular health. If you know me, you know I love my Cocoa Pops. So 80 grams of Cocoa Pops, 60 grams of whey, 250 grams of almond milk, 250 ml of almond milk, shall I say, or whatever you want to say, and then 200 ml of orange juice. I'm at that point now where I would say, to be honest, I'm not that arsed about food. I'm just not. It was a bit of a struggle the last couple of weeks. And then as of probably maybe mid last week to this week, food's gone up as well. So spoke to Will, and luckily, like, he's got some nice methods in there to get these carbs in without absolutely being bloated. And this has been actually a godsend. It's been really helping me out. I switched to cream of rice in prep. Now, I'm thinking food's only going to go up from here. I'm probably going to switch that back to cyclic dextrin. Purely because I want to ideally keep food volume as low as I possibly can. In this meal, technically, there should be 15 grams of peanut butter, but I'm going to add that to my final meal, which will be the oats. And if you can get those nice calorie dense foods, get some good fats in there as well, the volume's quite low compared to the calorie amount, which is what you want. You don't want to be in the off season, especially when you're keeping it majority, what people will call clean, is having shitloads of food. Especially finding the foods that sit well for you. I found that these foods sit really well for me. Now, it is a relatively high-ish amount of whey, technically, but it sits on my stomach perfectly. Digestion's always been good. So as long as that stays like that, I'd rather just keep my safe foods. A lot of people will start switching things up for variety, which is fine. But the aim in the off season is to make sure that your digestion sits well. The last thing you want is burping and full of gas and food not sitting well. These meals worked for me perfectly on prep. So it just made more sense to just increase the volume of what I'm already having. And it's been great. Stomach is staying nice and tight. As I say, digestion's really good still. Sleep's amazing at the minute, which I have been tracking on my Whoop, which I'll break down what I've kind of been doing, because we've not really had a proper chat, have we, for the last few weeks. So there's a lot I want to go over and a lot I want to discuss. I will catch up with you in a minute. I'm just going to get this down because it will be going soggy, and then we will have a decent chat. BRB. So that meal has just gone down a treat. Now, I apologise for the previous video earlier because I was huffing and puffing like a pig. I'm still got some stuff on my chest, even though I feel a lot better. And I'm really heavily breathing. I don't know because the microphone's a really good one and it was quite close to me. So I've moved it away. And fingers crossed, that's going to be a lot better, because it was doing my head in listening to me breathing like that. I was breathing like peak off season. And now I'm being really conscious about breathing heavily. I think it was just the fact of how close it was. But, yeah. So, in terms of where we're up to in life now, I did the podcast a couple of weeks ago. That was a massive, massive hit with a lot of people. And spoke about life and prep and how I got to where I did in terms of competing. I had loads of messages saying how much people enjoyed it, which is really positive. Got another one coming soon. very soon. Just finding the time at the minute. Life's busy, good busy. So that's going to be coming soon with the one and only. And I said I was going to do this for a while. It just never kind of matched up. But now we've got the proper podcast studio to do it in. I think that'll be the perfect time for that. So it's going to be the other side of prep from my partner. So everyone can get the 360 of that. And I think that'll be really beneficial. Not only to making people self-aware of how prep can be on the other side, but also help for people who have partners who are going to go into prep and they can sort of see what to expect and kind of how they can manage things and the mistakes that I made and the things that we can learn from, you know, going forward, because that's the most important thing. But yeah, that it will be coming soon. Work-wise, so I've just boxed off another work block. All the clients that I've got on currently are all happy. They're all flying. And I'm so grateful for the position that I'm in right now. And I'm making the absolute most of it. I'm absolutely loving it. It's been a real eye-opener doing this. And realising how much I really enjoy it. And I'm really passionate about helping people. I've done that anyway. So for context, anyone who doesn't know, like earlier on when I first started my TikTok account, when I was just documenting my process of becoming a bodybuilder, I was also posting kind of tips and tricks and stuff that helped me along the way, and it really kind of grew the account. And I was getting DMs, I was getting like 20 some days, 20 a day some days, like in the peak of it, of questions and stuff. And I was getting back to everyone, and I was really enjoying seeing people sort of take the advice on board, then message me a couple of weeks later saying, oh, I've done this and it's really helped, and it was great. And there was a massive amount of satisfaction. So to do this on a day-to-day basis in this position is amazing. I have also invested in my education, so I'll be starting a course of education in the new year that is going to be to really hone in on my skills with programming, training, nutrition, the PED side, and a lot more of the scientific side towards kind of the coaching, which is something that I really want to improve on, which will also open doors for me to finally be in a position where I feel like I'm confident to take on bodybuilding clients. Because I always said I'm doing lifestyle guys right now. I was a lifestyle guy. I lived it for a long period of time. I understand it very well. And that was the bread and butter initially. But the goal is definitely to get some prep guys on there and competing clients. I think that's where I'll be the most passionate. Something that I hold very close to my heart. So yeah, very exciting stuff coming. Very, very exciting. Now, a couple of the lads I've already got on, I've already mentioned that I've had invested in my education and stuff, and they're already thinking about competing. So it's beautiful, beautiful stuff. In terms of, so I mentioned about the Whoop. Now, I've been trying to make sure that every health marker that I'm measuring, kind of keep it in a good range or improved over the off season. As you know, I've got 2 years off, which is technically, it's like the 7th week now, post-show. I'm getting into the 8th, coming into next week. So time is actually moving pretty quickly, which is positive. Progression of lifts is good. Change the split around a little bit, which I will do a training day, detailed training day video on. Once we actually get the bloods done, go into that push up. This point right now is a bit boring, even though I'm seeing progression. And advancing lifts, I'm feeling good. Digestion's good, sleep's good, energy's good, business is good, everything's great. But I can't wait to get into the nitty-gritty, all lie, and just really push it. I've never pushed it, and I'm actually excited to do that with expert guidance, everything dialed in now, which is what I'm using this kind of period of time, or have used this period of time, to get the remainder locked off with the metrics that we measure. and it'll be all systems go. So I'm really excited to get that going. One of the main things, as I mentioned before, was been massively focusing on digestion, and pretty much getting everything boxed off, nailed down, so we have the most productive off season possible. I'm already thinking about getting back on stage, and just more the advancements that I'm going to make in this time. It can not be anything short of astronomical, because I've worked out, so I posted on Instagram the other day, I've worked out in the last 15 months, I did a prep, a photo shoot prep, had a 12-week building phase, which was poor on my behalf. This was before I went into my bodybuilding prep. And then was in 6 months of actual prep in a deep deficit. And I've currently had like 6 weeks in a surplus. So in total, it worked out about 18 weeks in a surplus, which 12 weeks of it was shocking. And my overall like leg development, I'll add a picture on the screen or wherever I can. It's just mad. It's just mad to see what's going to come. And it's only signs of things to come, because I am locked in. The end goal doesn't feel that far away. This last 8 weeks has flown, 7 weeks. So it's just keeping that focus. I've enjoyed being able to have some off-plan meals and eating out and stuff. I really have. The weekend just gone, one of my friends was DJing at a massive event in Liverpool, and I went to that and I had a really good time. And it's nice to have that bit of your life back. And anyone who's been in prep will know, it's just having the balance of having your life back, not eating everything in sight, keeping the end goal in your mind, making sure that you do have a structure in place that means that you do have a purpose and a goal. And that what now never really happened for me. I'll miss the shows, don't get me wrong, but what I'm doing currently and the end goal massively outweighs that. Plus there's no shows at the minute. So this might change. I'm going to try and do one of these weekly, but this might change. But my plan, ideally, is my cap is 82.6, I think, or 82.5. Currently sitting around, give or take away the ill week last week, about 76.6, something like that. And gain as much muscle tissue as we possibly can in this time, between now and the end of 2026. I want to jump in, nice runway for prep, where I don't have to do what I did last time. I'm in a really good spot in terms of body fat. I've accrued some serious muscle tissue in the correct areas, and then have a relatively smooth prep, should we call it. Smooth as possibly can, with not having to lose 20 kg in 12 weeks. Yeah, and then do probably, my ideal would be to do the last PCA and Two Bros qualifiers, and then do the British finals for both, depending on if they land on the same weekend again, if we feel like we can land it perfectly, and potentially do a show in Europe, depending on how everything pans out. That would be perfect for me. I've also got a goal of doing the Amateur Olympia. I'd love to do that. But the difference to the season just gone is I was working with what I had, and I knew going into the British finals that it was all just to see what I needed to do in this off season. So that's why we're doing what we're doing now. And I want to make sure that everything is, I'm really obsessed with making sure that I do everything and I'm not wasting time, and I'm not then stepping on stage to go, we didn't land exactly where we wanted to, we're going to have to do another offset. I can't be arsed doing that. I want to make sure that we do everything we can, and that's why I make sure I'm getting it nailed So what I bring back is exactly what's expected to be brought back. Condition's never going to be an issue. Just that make sure we get that density and thickness and overall muscle development. And there's no reason why the pro status can't be achieved. So my idea, it's all hearsay, it's all guesswork really, in terms of what the physique will actually look like right now compared to the body weight, compared to being in the cap and stuff. But everything goes to plan as it should do. My ideal would be, again, like I say, it can change, but be a PCA pro. And again, it all depends on the physique, and where I stand up. See where I stand up in terms of the two bros, of course, and the NPC for the IFBB pro. But I also don't want to be an IFBB pro that's battling out for like 15th and that every week or every time you compete. That's not on my agenda at all. I'd much rather be a really, really good amateur for a longer period of time, earn my stripes, compete in the bigger shows, and then really, really push the cap and bring the best physique I possibly can, than get pro status and just be bottom of the barrel. Yes, you're going to work your way up, but for me, I really want to come back and be massively competitive. That's the plan. So that's why I am doing everything I possibly can now, and will continue to do that over 2 years. And it's going to be interesting. Very interesting. So I've got another block of work to do. So I'm going to sign off and we'll catch up at meal 3. Meal 3 going down. So I've just walked, the car's still broken it. So I've just walked all the way to Tesco because I needed salmon, I needed white potato, and I needed Greek yogurt to make my sauce. Pissing down, soaked, got there and I didn't add the Greek yogurt to my list. Brilliant. Anyway, I'm not going back. So I say take pride in your food, but right now, today, it's just not been my day, fortunately. So I have 250 grams of rice, 250 grams of rice, 100 grams of tomato, and 100 grams of salmon, and 20 grams of Nando's sauce. Unfortunately, I don't really like using other sauces. The salmon has fell apart. So yeah, I'm falling apart at the minute. There's a couple of bits I need to get. You know them grease-proof trays that go in the air fryer? They're perfect. At the minute I'm using tin foil. So yeah, when I'm taking the salmon out, it's just sticking to the tin foil. But yeah, I'm not at that point now where I'm like food scarce or anything, so I'm not too bothered. I do try and make sure that I make my meals not even presentable, just put a bit of love into it, you know. You don't want to really lose that complete sensation around food, because I don't want to get to a point where I'm really hating food. At the minute I don't mind, like I'm not fussed too much, which isn't a bad thing because you spent months and months and months obsessing over food. I'm still transitioning out some of the habits like I said before, but I just don't want to get to the point where I'm like thinking about food. So I'm trying to put a bit of love into it. Evidently not with that meal, but I'm going to get this down me now. And yes, so I am going to also increase cardio. I've just spoke to Will, and I'm going to put that 10 minutes of cardio back in on training days. I've listened back to this video and just then walking to Tesco, and it's 6 weeks and I'm already puffing and panting like a fucking hog, and I don't want that. Whether it is the back of being ill or what, I don't know, but it's not good. I was really, really fit, functionally fit, obviously in prep because I was doing so much cardio and stuff, and I just want to try and maintain that as best as I can. So I'm going to get this down there. A return. So I got the remainder of my steps in. It's been miserable today. And I'm now, is it meal 4? So we're breakfast, Cocoa Pops, salmon. Yeah, so meal 4. Now, I'm a fucker for this, ignore the mess. I'm a fucker for this. I start to eat my food, especially when there's a few hours between, and I totally forget. But I do forget where I put my car keys when I've just put them down. So this is something I'm working on. So it's 8:30, but it's one of my favourite meals at the minute. I'm really enjoying it. So we have Maze's advent calendar. It's a poor excuse because it's half a meal now. So we have 250 grams of rice, 150 grams of 5% beef mince, 100 grams of tomato, 10 grams of diced onion, and I've been using a curry sauce. So it is a Madras curry sauce. I just wanted to switch it up a bit. 1, because I never went and picked up the Greek yogurt. But 2, I just wanted to change it up a bit, especially since I've been being ill. What I've been finding is I like to just sort of rinse a meal, rinse the sauce and stuff till I get a bit fed up of it. Now, just replacing that sauce, I only did it not yesterday, before. I wanted a bit of heat, just wanted to sweat it out a little bit. And it's mad the difference what it makes when you change up your flavours. Like foods wise, I don't want to change it, but like just to switch back to the sauce that I was using a while back, because I know it sits right with me. It's making food a lot more, I wouldn't say enjoyable, but just giving myself a new lease of life. I just don't want to get bored. I really don't want to get bored. I've done something today that I've not done in months. I'm pretty pissed off with myself, but I must have needed it. I had a nap. And I ended up snoozing my alarm. I really needed it, yeah, I won't lie. I was knackered. And I had the nap, and I woke up feeling like shit after it usually, which is what usually happens. But the issue I've got now is it was well late for a nap for a start. And by the time I've done my tea and all that, it's now 20 to 10 and I've still got oatmeal to get in. Which is what I set off to eat earlier this morning. Usually earlier than usual, which I did. And I've fucked it for myself now because I've no further on. But I know I've learned now that is the default, the formula, minus the nap, and I would have been in perfect stead now. I would have had that last meal well boxed off by now. So at least I know that works. The hunger cues and signals through the day were really good. I was fine, which now I've experienced it. I do know that I can eat a little bit earlier, leave a couple of hours between meals, and I'm going to be all right still. And I didn't even think about it, to be honest. So that's going to be the play. But I'm going to box this off because it is going cold and I'm halfway through it. Meal 5, going down. So this is literally 45 minutes later, which I have learned from a mistake. My food doesn't sit too heavy, but it will do. So I need to get this routine dialed in like I do with the prep. No excuses, you eat at them times, but it's still just figuring out what works. And the luxury of having more food, which I need to get used to. One thing I also need to learn and get used to is I'm probably going to have to start prepping my food, because today I felt like I spent a lot of time cooking, which is, maybe it's not a lot of time, maybe it just feels like a lot of time because I'm not used to it. But I'm thinking I'm going to start prepping because, yeah, I think it'll be easier. And I like putting a bit of love into it, but maybe I'll save that actually until I'm getting a bit fed up and I can't be asked and I'm bored of food, so I'll just do it quickly. Maybe, we'll see. But this camera's gonna die, which is annoying, but we have the biggest bowl in the world and the poorest ratio of food to bowl you've ever seen. And I'm trying not to get my toes in it because they're ugly, but so we have 60 grams of oats, 20 grams of dark chocolate, 15 grams of peanut butter, 25 grams of Chocotella whey perform, and 2 grams of pink salt. That is beautiful. This is going to be a new one for me, eating this time, but I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to sit down. The one and only still not home. Christmas rush for her. So it's late now. What is it? 10 o'clock? Yeah. 10 o'clock. She's not home. But I'm going to sign off this full day of eating today as where we stand. I'm going to do a training day version for tomorrow. I aim to do 1 or 2 of these a week. For me, I love YouTube. I absolutely love it. Yeah, it's just about remembering to do it more than anything. So I've got that on my list of goals to make sure that I do it and get it done, because I know you like to see it, and I get like a lot of messages saying you need to do more YouTube. So I'm going to tuck into this, and I'll see you tomorrow. Good morning. Friday the 5th of December, training day. Checked in this morning, 76.4. So food is virtually the same, but just slightly a bit more in terms of volume. Just been for a coffee with Arms this morning. Had a good chat, good catch up. I'm having meal 1 in a minute, and then I will let it digest and then go and train. So food wise, on training day, got the builders in by the sounds of it. Food wise is 3,414 cal, 214.5 grams of protein, 472.6 grams of carbs, 59.9 grams of fat. In terms of the style of food, it's going to be pretty much the same, as I say, as yesterday. Just a slightly more volume, and that's virtually it. So yeah, I'm going to run through that, and then I'll catch up with you. Meal 1 is about to go down. So we have 80 grams of oats, 10 grams of dark chocolate, 10 grams of Biscoff spread, 100 grams of banana, 50 grams of Chocotella Perform whey protein, 2 grams of pink salt, dash of cinnamon. It's just the breakfast of dreams, isn't it? Absolutely spot on. So, plan for today is I'm going to eat this. I've done a morning block this morning. Work, make sure all my clients are sorted. Then I am going to let this digest. Then I'm going to go and train. Today is push 2. Training structure hasn't changed. So it's still Monday push, Tuesday pull, Wednesday legs, Thursday rest, Friday push 2, Saturday posterior, Sunday rest. And the overall physique development so far has been really good. As I say, still natty. And I'm about, as of today, it's about 6.2 kg or something like that. So, physique's holding well. I had to let go of being lean, of course. Still pretty lean, considering. But I had to sort of let go of that, but I've been fine with that. It took me a little while to adjust and get used to, but I'm there now, and I'm happy. I bought a new tripod, ring light, and a backdrop. The backdrop comes today, tripod came, ring light came yesterday. And I don't think I'm going to be any fucking better off from what I took, because I'm trying to get my check-ins over to Will in the morning, AM, so we can see what's going on, and just because I know what it's like as a coach when you get later check-ins and stuff. So I'm trying to do that, but yeah, I tested it out last night and it wasn't fantastic, I'm not going to lie. So I'm probably going to wait till the sun comes up and then do it here. So yeah, just keep that repeatability the same. So yeah, just realised I've not got my microphone on, but that's fine. Won't hear all that huffing, puffing and snorting. I'm going to get this down where we will catch up. I'm going to try and get some training videos. Just about to go and train, so I thought I'd just show you my pre-workout and my intra-workout stuff. So currently I'm not running cyclic dextrin because I've changed my training structure around. I used to train fasted, that was perfect for that. I've now got a meal 1 before I train, so I have that about 90 minutes before I train, which is what I've shown you just. So cream of rice is part of my post-workout now, but this is exactly what I'm having. The dailies haven't changed in terms of what I showed you yesterday. The only things that are different is I have stim-free pump pre-workout by Perform and 3 grams of the glycosize powder, which is a serving. And then intra, I'll have my EAAs. Like I say, I did have that when we cyclodextrin, but not having that currently. I'll keep that in there. Keep the EAAs in there. Push 2, big session. Progressions week on week. Strength is improving. My actual recovery between sets is really improving. So we're going to go and get push 2 smashed off. I did say that I was going to film the workout, but I'm not. This is just going to be 2 full days of eating, otherwise it's going to get too long. So post-workout, push 2 went down. Solid session. Pump was mega. Put a little picture on there. Stim free has been doing the major job for me. Now I'm just having my caffeine in the morning. I don't need any more. Sessions are really solid. So it's all good. I have made an error, and this is what goes on with the trial and error in the off season. So bear with me 1 sec. I'm just going to switch the light on. So yeah, it's right. Meal 2. Let's go down. So I've always made my cream of rice, which is 50 grams of cream of rice, 125 grams of Cocoa Pops, 40 grams of Perform Chocolatello Whey, which I'm going to put in a minute. But yeah, I've fucked it basically because I set this in the bottom. So I'm trying a new flavour today, which is Conte cream of rice, salty caramel. I usually use the fucking hell, mine's gone blank. Anyway, I'm trying it as a new flavour, but 125 grams doesn't fit on the fucking thing, so I'm gonna have to mess up my masterpiece so it's not gonna look as good. But it is what it is. So I'm just gonna stick that together now. Just try and enjoy it as best as I can. So there we go. I've changed bowls, changed location, and because the way I have it, I make it like a paste. So boiling hot water, mix it round, and then I put it in the microwave for a minute. And it makes more like a cakey mixture, obviously, which would then set in the bowl when it goes in the fridge. I like to leave it in the fridge, I like it like that. So, looks like a bit of a mess, but absolutely beautiful. And it's probably one of my favourite meals, just because I love cereal and I love cream of rice. So, it's going to be stunning. Meal 3, going down. 250 grams of rice, 100 grams of spinach, 100 grams of salmon, 100 grams of Greek yogurt, 2 grams of salt, and that is all she wrote. It's one of my favourite meals at the minute. Really enjoying the spinach. And the Greek yogurt as a sauce, perfect on digestion. Carried that to the back end of prep when I finally realised that you could use it as a Greek sauce. Yeah, and it's been a game changer for me. It's beautiful. If you haven't tried it, Greek yogurt, salt, pepper, smoked paprika, and onion granules. Technically meal 5, but I'm having it as meal 4 going down. Because me and Maze are going to have enough plan tonight, I think. Yes, I've not decided what, but we are. She's on her Christmas rush. It is now 10 to 8. And I'm waiting. She said she's going to be another hour and a half or so, which is not great, so I thought I'd just have this now. In the biggest bowl in the world for the proportion. So, it's not the bowl looks ridiculous, but it's 60 grams of oats, 25 grams of Chocolatello whey protein, 10 grams of Biscoff spread, 10 grams of dark chocolate, 2 grams of salt. No cinnamon on that. But that is the final meal. We've not decided. We're going to have something pretty light, I think. I'll show you what we get, and I'll show you how I manage it as well, which is something that I think is important, that a lot of people struggle with. So one thing that I find massively is, especially even with speaking to people day to day, just in general, and little bits of clients and stuff, the main struggles that a lot of people have is dealing with social occasions and off-plan meals. Now, I struggled with this for years, so I know how tough it can be. But the main thing you need is balance. So people associate, say, for example, I'm going to use the Domino's, for example. People think because you order a Domino's, you have to have the full Domino's. But you can have some of it and not all of it, and it still be a Domino's and it's still be an off-plan, and you've still not totally fucked it. And that's where people struggle. It's all or nothing mindset. So 3 slices of a Domino's pizza, a couple of chicken strippers or kickers, and a handful of wedges is still a Domino's. And just because you think, oh, like, but do you want to get to where you want to be or not? So the more you can control that whilst you're still trying to get to where you want to be, that will make, it'll be, obviously it's high fat content, and you will probably, well, you will be heavier on the scales most likely, depending on how much you actually eat of said Domino's. But you'll still get to where you want to be, and you can have that more consistently. One thing I learned very early in my off season, which people can take on their journey just from a flexibility aspect, is if you nail the week and have that bit of enjoyment, but it's controlled, you will still get to where you want to be, regardless. What people will do is ruin a week's worth of progress in one day by either unknowingly or overeating or just hitting the fucking button. And I've done it. And you've just got to think like, yes, you've got to enjoy yourself, but think logically and rationally. If you're calorie aware, is one meal and then maybe like a bit of a dessert and some chocolate and some extras that wipes out a full week's of graft. Think about your week, what you've done that week. You've done X amount of cardio. You've been relatively hungry certain points in the week, but you've had that discipline, but you've fucked it over the weekend. So now all that week's basically void. What was the point? It's just actually looking at your goals and saying how much is it important to me, and just having a little bit of control as well from someone who's had no control. So I'm not like, do as I say, not as I do. I've been there and I know how tough it can be. But I'm also on the other side of it now, completely, where how important my goals are to me. I know, and I'm currently coaching people through the busiest time of year. So I know how it works. And the guys that I've got on now are making serious progress because they're finding that balance, and it's usually most people's issue. Same, for example, like a curry. Me and Maze love a curry. And if you're not calorie aware, if you don't understand portion sizes, you can easily, don't care what anyone says, eat 2,000 calories with a curry. With starters, naan bread, poppadoms, a couple of pints, a curry, chips, rice. Easily. Right? And okay, that's your off plan. You've gone a little bit crazy. You've ate pretty much all of it. You then have a couple of pints more, or a bit of a sweet treat, or in fact, you say, do you know what? I'm going to leave it at that. You think you've managed the curry pretty well, and then on the day after, you go out for some breakfast, and you have a decent sized breakfast, or you have a couple more snacks because you think, oh, I was good last night, I didn't overeat even though I wanted to have the chocolate bar and etc. So I'll just have it Sunday instead. 2,500, 600, 700 calories there. And then you wonder why you can't get to where you want to be. So it's all about having control. And the main thing I tell anyone is just become food and calorie aware. And it's the best thing you can do, honestly. So this is going cold. I'm going to get it down there, and then we'll catch up. Well, that's been a fucking disaster. 9:15. We had an idea. Cuban Nacho it's called, near me. It's like Mexican. We had it all planned out. Had a nice idea what we was going to have. Nothing too mad. Just a couple of tacos, some chips. Never tried it. It's supposed to be really nice. Gone to order it. Got myself psyched up for it. Closed. Just. Because Maze fucking finishes at daft o'clock. She's not even done. She grafts the girl. Fair play to her. But now I'm fucking... Yeah, I'm past it now. I'm tired. Been a long day. So yeah, don't know what to do now. Bit snookered. I'll have to have something, but the reason why we decided we was going to have an off plan tonight was because there wasn't very much in, with it being Friday. I just didn't, I would have to go and get some mints and stuff. Could have done that, but I thought, we'll do it tonight. She's out tomorrow on her work to do. So I'll be chilling tomorrow, but I don't know what to do now. So yeah. But I'm going to sign this off now. Unless I do end up getting some food, then I'll jump back on. If I don't, that's been the non-training day and full day of eating. Back to front. Peace out.